The alarm goes off. You open your eyes. And before you've moved, before you've checked your phone, before the day has asked a single thing of you, the weight is already there. Not sleepiness. Not the kind that a coffee fixes or a shower shakes off. Something heavier, a tiredness that was waiting for you, like it never left. If you know that feeling, this is for you. Because what most people call laziness, what most doctors dismiss as poor sleep hygiene, and what you've probably spent years quietly blaming yourself for, has a completely different explanation. And once you understand it, the way you see your own exhaustion changes permanently. Let's start with your brain. Every morning, approximately 20 to 30 minutes before you wake up, your body begins producing a surge of cortisol. Researchers call this the cortisol awakening response, a built-in biological alarm system designed to prime your body for the demands of the day ahead. In people with healthy stress baselines, this surge feels like natural waking energy. Your system powers up, processes what's coming, and meets the day with something resembling readiness. But here's what nobody tells you. In people who carry chronic stress, not dramatic crisis stress, but the low-level persistent kind, this cortisol surge doesn't energize, it exhausts. Because your nervous system isn't preparing for a normal day, it's bracing for threat, it runs the same calculations it ran yesterday and the day before that. It anticipates, it loads up every unresolved tension, every uncomfortable conversation, everything you're carrying that you haven't put down. And by the time your alarm sounds, your body has already been working for half an hour. You wake up mid-shift. That's not laziness. That's anticipatory fatigue, and it is a real documented neurological pattern. But the cortisol response is only part of the picture, because for a lot of people, the exhaustion goes deeper than biology. It lives in what psychologists call emotional labor, the continuous, often invisible work of managing how you feel so that the people around you don't have to deal with it. Think about who you are in a room. Are you the one who reads the temperature, who notices when someone's off before they say a word, who adjusts your own energy to make others comfortable, who smooths things over, who holds the emotional weight of situations quietly so nobody else has to? That work is real work. It doesn't show up on a job description, it doesn't clock out at 5 p.m., and it doesn't stop when you close your eyes at night. It just keeps running. Your brain never got the signal that it was safe to stop. And here's where it gets important. The people most likely to wake up already exhausted are almost never the ones who look exhausted. They're the high-functioning ones. The ones who show up on time, who meet their deadlines, who check in on other people, who seem absolutely fine. Because they've spent years building a performance of fine, so convincing that even the people closest to them don't see the cost. And the invisibility of that cost is part of what makes it so draining. You're not just exhausted. You're exhausted and unseen, and there's no one to hand it to. Psychologists describe this pattern as chronic hypervigilance, a state in which the nervous system remains on low-level alert indefinitely. Originally, hypervigilance was a survival response. If your early environment was unpredictable, emotionally, physically, or socially, your brain learned to stay switched on, to scan, to anticipate, to never fully relax because relaxing at some point wasn't safe. And the nervous system is remarkably loyal to its own learning. Even when the original threat is long gone, the scanning continues. You lie down and your brain keeps watching the door. But here's what's fascinating. Most people with chronic hypervigilance don't experience it as anxiety. They experience it as tiredness, because the brain can only sustain that level of alertness for so long before it starts borrowing from your energy reserves. And at some point, the borrowing outpaces the recovery. You wake up already overdrawn. Now here's the shadow side that's worth sitting with. After enough mornings of waking up exhausted, something shifts. The exhaustion stops feeling like a symptom and starts feeling like a personality trait. You start to identify with it. You tell yourself you're just someone who needs more rest, someone who isn't a morning person, someone who doesn't have the energy other people seem to have. And that story, however understandable, quietly closes doors. It becomes the reason you don't start the thing, the reason you cancel, the reason you stop expecting much from your own days. The exhaustion becomes a ceiling. And the cruelest part is that the story feels accurate because you are tired, genuinely, physically, neurologically tired. But the cause isn't your character. It's your nervous system doing exactly what it was trained to do. There's a significant difference between those two things. One can change, one cannot. So what does change actually look like? Not a morning routine, not a supplement, not a mindset shift you can force before 7 a.m. Real change for this particular kind of exhaustion starts with giving your nervous system consistent evidence that the threat level has lowered. Small signals repeated over time. That not every silence means something is wrong. That not every unanswered message is a problem. That the day is not, in fact, an adversary. Your brain built this pattern across years of experience. It will update it, but slowly and only with proof. You are not lazy. You are not broken. You are not someone who simply can't cope with ordinary life. You are someone whose nervous system learned to work overtime in an environment that required it. And it never got the memo that the shift ended. That's not a character flaw. That's a nervous system waiting to be told it's safe to rest. If this describes something you've never quite had words for, subscribe. And if you want to understand the deeper pattern underneath this, the next video is about something that connects directly. Why the people who feel everything most intensely are also the ones most likely to hide it completely. Click it. You'll see why.